my story is peculiar because I've never seen myself going into leadership.
Okay.
Life changers made me a leader.
Hello, Life Changers Nation. Hope everybody is having fun with September to Remember. I am here with my elder stateswoman, IVP Ruth. She's my elder stateswoman, don't mind her. And she's also the IVP for Administration and Media, in charge of Administration and Media. Coincidentally, she also happens to be the longest serving Kaduna chapter ambassador apart from our mama. She also happens to be the longest serving Kaduna chapter ambassador and my predecessor. So here I'm here to ask her some questions about LCCI. Today is Kaduna chapter's day. So I'm about to ask her to gain from her wealth of knowledge. She has so much inside her that we need to extract. We are mining her now. So we are welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ambassador Jocelyn, it's a pleasure. Thank you, ma'am.
So I think we should dive straight into the questions now. Can you give us a brief history of LCCI Kaduna chapter, how it all began, how it evolved?
Okay, well, a brief history of LCCI Kaduna chapter. Actually, Life Changers Club International started in 1991 from Kaduna. So Kaduna is like the mother of all chapters. Yeah.
Wow.
So we started in 1991. Then I was not a member. I started with our covering apostle, our international president, Mama Joy Life Changers. So, but then I joined Life Changers Club International from 2005 thereabout, 2004, 2005, yeah. So from there, I was once a staff of Life Changers Club as an admin officer. Then the office was
and now she's IVP administration. So you see,
so the office was at Yoruba Road, close to opposite Magajingeri. Those of us who are familiar with Kaduna. And I worked as a secretary for about 2 years. But while I was working, I was also a member. Yeah, so I worked with leaders then, and after a while, I stopped working, and got another job. But with that, I still continue to be a member. Yeah, so I was a member until about 2014 when I was made a leader, as an ambassador. But I already had some ambassadors before me, So 2014 when I was made a leader, then it was not an ambassador. Okay. The name ambassador is pretty, recent. It's quite recent. I think about 4 or 5 or more than that, but just recent. Okay. Yeah. So then we're just called charter leaders, like that. So I was made a leader of the chapter, and God has been helping me. God helped me. God was faithful throughout my period. I served for about 10 years.
Wow. Did you get that? 10 years.
As a chapter leader, and my story is peculiar because I've never seen myself going into leadership. Okay. Life Changers made me a leader of who I am today. Yeah. And I can proudly say I am a leader. So, and working closely with Mama, Apostle Joy, who really groomed me into leadership. So I can't take away that from her. Yeah. Even in my place of work, as in Life Changers, until now that I'm an IVP. So that's basically a short history about me as a member then into leadership. But then we also had past, like I said, past leaders. Yeah. I wouldn't want to mention some names now, but we have past leaders, like Mommy Jalija, Auntie Kemi, before the ARMS became an organization, then in Kaduna chapter, it was, we're dealing more with women Royal Women. So most of the skill acquisitions, we had them going on in Kaduna, in that office at Yoruba. So we were into skill acquisition, tailoring, how to make beads, how to make hair, and lots more.
So
and we're just
Can you make it?
Yeah, I can make it. I can actually, so I can actually make your hair, but not dreads anyway, like all the time. So we taught women a lot, we equipped them. So we're more into skill acquisition, and aside the fact that we've had series of OFP held in Kaduna too, so it's been interesting. The history of Kaduna has been very quite interesting,
So this leads me to my next question that I want to ask her, because you can hear that she has been a leader for years, decades. She has been a leader for decades, so we cannot just let her go like that. So in your leadership capacity, can you, in Kaduna chapter precisely, can you tell us the peculiar challenges to Kaduna? Because I know every region and every zone will have its peculiar challenges. So Kaduna particularly, can you tell us the challenges you faced and how you overcame them, so that we can learn? We learn.
Auntie Jocelyn, you don't have a challenge because you took over well. Then as leaders, we were working with these women. Women who felt like, how can this,
small
little
girl,
so I had that challenge of working with women. Let me tell you something. One thing I knew I grew out of, or my growth progression, was that I learned patience.
Wow.
Patience, because working with people is actually difficult.
Yes.
And
I can testify.
Thank you. So if you're not patient, you can't work with people. So there was this point in my life where anybody that comes into life changes, you're not ready to work. There was a particular person who was giving us headache. It got to a point that I had to cry out to Mama and say, I'm sewing on bad ground.
I can imagine.
As I'm sewing on bad ground, financially, my strength, everything, physically, I'm sewing on bad ground. I don't want to sew again.
Oh my God.
But Mama was not like that. Mama was still patient, working with this particular lady, until the lady on her own left. She couldn't work with us anymore. Do you understand? Not because we're not meeting. In fact, that particular lady, if she was in Life Changers, she was supposed to have, groomed other people into business with what she has received in Life Changers. Yeah. That's the honest truth. But she couldn't work with us anymore because of the kind of person. So the challenge then was, these older people come to, and people were not patient.
And you were quite small that time.
Yes.
I saw your old picture.
You saw my old picture?
So that size.
I have a lot of pictures. There's one particular Mama sent to me one time. I laughed. I said, no, Mama, please don't post this picture.
She was quite...
So that patient part, was one of the challenges I had. But I had to work on myself until I became patient. Then, of course, my career as an HR person, working with people, which made me to become a better leader, so that's it. People who feel, and another thing is, people who come because they want to get something. Yeah. Not because they really have passion to reach out to people. Yeah. So they feel when it comes to Life Changers,
they have a different vision.
Thank you. There's something they want to collect at that moment. You understand? And it doesn't work like that.
No.
So a lot of them left because they were not getting what they wanted.
And that's one thing I can say about Life Changers.
Yeah.
If you don't have the passion, you can't run it.
At all.
Your passion is for people.
Yeah.
And Life Changers pours into you. I can justify that. My short span with Life Changers, they pour into you. This woman here has poured into me.
Oh, wow.
She has. But there are glitches happen, but that's life.
Yeah.
So moving on to my next question, you've told us how you overcame the challenge, and then can you tell us how Life Changers impacted Kaduna? The few instances that Life Changers, because I'm sure there's a lot of impact that people maybe don't even know or notice.
You see, our vision is to discover individual purposes.
Yes.
So I can say Life Changers impacted lives in that area.
Yeah.
I am a product of Life Changers.
Yeah.
Life Changers helped me to discover my purpose.
Okay.
And I'm working in my purpose till date. You understand? So that's one great impact that I'm sure you agree with me that some of your leaders, maybe not all, you will discover that they are working in their purposes. Life Changers made it so.
Yeah.
We all came to Life Changers as novice. We didn't even know our left
As
from
raw
our
materials.
right. You understand? But Life Changers helped us to discover our purposes, and here we are today. So that's one great impact. Then number 2, the mission of reaching, touching, and changing lives for the better is something we do all the time. Whether we like it or not, through our programs, whether feeding people through the Operation Feed the Poor, you understand, on Operation Feed the Poor and Help the Needy, through the program that held in Kaduna, Kafanchan, is an impact.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've helped people. So through our programs, whether it is a dance competition or just a meeting in the room, it has actually impacted people's lives.
That I can also testify. It's true. I've seen it.
So many ways that Life Changers has impacted on Kaduna chapter till date. We can see the testimonies. Even George, who is
our cameraman behind
this camera, I'm sure he will testify that Life Changers has within this short period.
You can't come to Life Changers
and not changed.
No matter how short the time, you'll be impacted. That I can testify. You'll be impacted. Unless if you are obstinate, but even with your obstinity, you still be impacted.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's one thing I've noticed.
Yeah.
So now our last question for the day. I'm sure you're happy. But we can come back, don't get too comfortable. Can you advise the chapter, any advice you have for the chapter, leaders, members, as our elder stateswoman? She has to give us something.
One advice I will give, I don't know if it's one or more.
It will be more.
Okay, so I'll say teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork. There's this acronym for team. It says together, that's T, together everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
Right? So with teamwork, we'll be able to achieve more. That's one. Then that bondness, of fellowship.
Okay.
You understand?
That bond.
That bond,
Okay.
Because one thing during my time, and I'm glad that is being carried out, is we ensured we held physical meetings. Online meetings wasn't working for us.
It still is not.
So there was a time during the COVID we tried online meeting. We even held a program, the worship. It was powerful. It worked. But for Kaduna, because of the peculiarity
of Kaduna,
so it wasn't online meeting. So physical meeting actually works for Kaduna. So
Kaduna is still ancient. We are still dragging into the digital area. Interaction, that physical interaction.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Zaria is worse.
Don't say that.
No, you know why? They will hear me. Okay, I'm not proclaiming, negativity.
Yes,
but in Zaria, we have more of the elderly,
Yes.
It's a student environment.
I lived there 9 years, so
so it's not like Kaduna,
Yes, I understand.
So, but for Zaria too,
we love that physical interaction. We like seeing each other.
Exactly.
Like that.
So that's one advice. Then, I'd like to say, honestly, working with the youth, it's good. The phase where Life Changers Kaduna is today is because we worked with the youth. As soon as I got that, I ran with it, and I started working with the youth. And amazingly, IPP John is a product of Kaduna chapter.
Yes.
He works with me. DA Steven is a product of Kaduna chapter. Do you understand?
Head of media. Head of media.
Head of media. Yes. Head of media. Oh God, I don't forget that. So you can see. So working with these people, what advice I'll give you, ma'am? Work with people who are intentional. Work with people who are ready. Don't allow people to drag you. Yeah, we know that there are different categories of people. Those who are slow and ready to learn. Yes, of course. But when I mean drag, is those who are not even ready.
Yeah.
They complain about everything. They are not seeing everything right. about your leadership. You know, there are some people like that. They are just not seeing anything right about your leadership. Please leave them one side.
Okay.
And work with people who are ready, who are intentional about running with the vision of the club, about running with the vision of Kaduna chapter.
Okay.
You know, every chapter is unique.
Yes.
Kaduna chapter, we have mixed adults, women, men, and the young people. Like
but the youths are far more.
Exactly.
They are like
so
triplets.
work with that uniqueness. Do you understand? So that's one advice. So work with people who are intentional, people who are ready to work. Those who are slow, carry them along. But those who want to drag you because they complain. There was a time Mama talked about people who just complain about everything. People who are not even ready to give ideas. People are just they are just saying yes, ma, but they will never act.
Yes. Yes,
yes, ma, but they will never act.
Yes.
When you make a post, they will be the first to react.
But they will never act. Give them a task,
you won't see them. Abawa. We passed that level now. More than enough, auntie.
Very true. Very
so
true.
I want to believe that the season God is taking us to in Life Changers is about working with people who are intentional. 33 years, we are no longer babies. Kaduna chapter, mother, we are no longer, we are great. So that's my little advice.
So thank you, sis. Help me say thank you to our mama, Kaduna's mama, IVP Ruth.
My pleasure.
She's fun to be with actually, and she's always laughing like our IP. I don't know whether our IVP infiltrated her. She's always laughing.
She is, alright. She did.
Thank you so much.
Have you seen some of my pictures? Don't I look like IP mama?
On that we close. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.